It was wave. What is this wave coming up? Whoa.
One windy looking map. It is, and not only do we have to worry about the winds, but the air quality. That's the one thing we haven't even talked about. This is the GOES-16 satellite. Again, it shows, you can see the smoke making its way across a good portion of the central and northern part of the state, and as that comes in, it's causing an air quality emergency, really. In fact, unprecedented levels of air pollution, unhealthy air right through the weekend from Santa Rosa all the way down to Monterey. We do have for Northern California red flag warnings and fire.
CBS 13's Lamore Abrams has the explosive details. Tonight, state officials are looking into whether PG&E's power lines may have caused the deadly and destructive wildfires. But one attorney says he's already preparing to sue the utility giant.
Widespread damage.
Explaining a lot had to do with the wicked winds and dry conditions feeding the flames, creating something called a fire whirl. As fire investigators examine how this fire started, we are learning why it was so violent and vicious, devouring practically everything in its path.
At least minimum 60-mile-per-hour winds where this fire started. And I understand they increased to 70 and possibly 80 miles per hour to push this fire.
McLean said that the winds also tossed around explosive and deadly embers.
The fire is spreading down the street, as you can see, and it looks like they're trying to save the structure down the street directly across from the gate.
Melted. Couldn't have, dude.
Weakened by the fire.
And that homes were burning like a giant blowtorch.
reported, hurricane force winds, fire tornadoes in the Coffey Park area. There were things that really shocked us the next morning looking at that, where there was a vehicle upside down, 100 feet into Coffey Park.
By sunrise, we all saw just how bad the fire was.
Do we need more help in the Westfield neighborhood? Thank you, Karen. Go ahead.
Was alleged to.
Alleged to.
Alleged to, right?
Yeah.
Now, we realize that for decades now, these governments have been alleged to have experimented with weather control, but nothing conclusive. This time we're beginning the laws of physics rather than simply waving our hands and uttering mumbo jumbo. We're actually using trillion-watt lasers now.
Laser at a power of 1 watt, and if you don't want to use your energy to...
Similar to the ones I took the other day in the Coffee District area. Again, you can see the ridge fires coming up. Take a look at this, folks. See the stone block wall? It's all gone, folks. The heat had to be enough to melt the wall.
So you're not going to see your barbecues melt. You're not going to see your ovens and your most of your appliances. They're not going to melt. They'll be burned, they'll be damaged, but they're not going to melt. It's common to find an appliance or two that remains intact. There's chaos around there, but many appliances these days are made with stainless steel, which gives them a sleek and design durability. So a lot of people have these things, but the metal, the frame itself of these things is not going to melt. So let's take a peek at what happened here. Well, let me just show you some pictures here of normal house fires. What's usually left afterwards? There's a bunch of rubble and everything's black. Usually the frames of the buildings stand. And there's a bunch of crap around the trees, or around the place, buildings. The frame of the building stays intact. The entire building does not disappear. There's still debris. There's a huge debris field after these things. You see there's like gutters and stuff. And the wood, even though it does burn, it doesn't totally burn. Now this is white stuff from what they put the fire out with, but generally you see that all of these houses, every one of them is black. Now this car was right next to a fire, and it still has glass. Its wheels are still intact. This thing actually burned, but it didn't melt the tires. It didn't melt the glass of the vehicle. You see all the rubble? This is just rubble because these places implode. After the structure falls apart, it collapses. But you still see they're all singed. They're all black. And even in the forest fires, the trees themselves are still black. And you can see, you have bricks on the bottom, and not all the aluminum siding or vinyl siding melts. Look at these structure, the outward frame of the houses still stands. But that's not what we see in these crazy forest fires. The entire things just disappear. Should be visible to the people with eyes to see. Here's this neighborhood before. And I want you to look, you guys, there's absolutely nothing left. You don't see any part of any of the structures anywhere. This isn't possible. There's something else going on here.
Now, it may not be a conspiracy, of course not. We've been through this before. Here's the eerie part. It's little pieces of evidence like this. This is Berkeley Engine. I forgot the name of them, but they're a strike team that comes in. They're called once it gets really serious, which was pretty much right away. Again, you have all these weird anomalies, weather anomalies, whatever. They can control it all. Well, can they? This is Berkeley Engine. Now, they're the strike team. When they get there, they're supposed to meet in the city, not in the hills, of Santa Rosa at the Kmart, which is sprinklered and fireproof. Now, of all the businesses there, gun shops and the Kmart burned to the fucking ground. So the spot where all the firemen were supposed to get together and meet, hundreds of them from this whole state, coincidentally burned to the ground. This is their video.
Wow, some pretty big flames over there. You know, those are coming out of the structures. Oh my god. Let's get some water on that. Now it's starting to smell like houses burning. Look at all this, man. There's all kinds of structures burning here. Are you serious?
Are you serious, man?
I just want to stop and... Where's that at? Oh boy. Yeah. Is that a gas station there? Oh boy. I guess you just let some of the stuff just burn, huh? I can actually feel that heat, Kyle. You feel that? Oh my god. Wow, it is blowing out that side. That's crazy. Look at... I had no idea, guys. This is over 100 homes.